how much you can divulge, but I'm curious. You're saying there's images being uploaded or images being downloaded?
That
I'm not I'm not denying guilt, and I'm not saying that I'm, I mean, as far as anything goes, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, May 25th. All right, so I literally just uploaded my other video and now I have another video. This is going to be maybe a shorter update, but we actually have the number. So before we get into it, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed, and make sure that you turn notifications on so you know when I go live or new content loads. And as well, leave me some comments on your thoughts. It's been a very wild, it's been a long time. It's been 3 years since we heard about all of this going down in November of 2019. And now the judge has made his decision. Josh will go for 12 and a half years, and he is going to serve his time either in the state of Texas or in Arkansas. So this morning was pretty wild. They had a lot to figure out, and the prosecutors wanted 20 years and Josh's team wanted 5. And it sounds like the judge met in the middle and did 12 and a half years at 151 months. Definitely not what I was hoping for, and definitely not what a lot of you were hoping for. But the caveat here is that one of the counts was actually dismissed with prejudice, and that means they can actually, in the future, if they need to, use that and charge him again. So not sure if that will play a factor in the state or if they will recharge him, but something else could happen in the future. Long story short, apparently when everything came down, knowing that he had up to 20 years away, he was actually stoic. So the Sun reports that he had no reaction to the sentencing, and Anna and Jim Bob also had no reaction. It's also been said that Jason, Joy, and James looked sad when the sentence total was read. So there's been quite a bit that's happened this morning. And another factor was that the judge said that Josh should get into treatment, although he's not going to make it mandatory. And this is the part that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So when someone gets this type of situation, when someone ends up in court with this type of situation, there are treatment options available for them that are offered through the system, and unfortunately it's not mandated for Josh, so he would like him to go through it, but he doesn't have to. Now, there's a really great treatment program that's down in Texas, but there is not one that's in Arkansas. So the judge said that he'd like him to go to Egoaville, Texas, and because that has a really great program, but he's not sure if he'll be able to send him there because he doesn't know what the bed space is like there. Otherwise, he will go to Texarkana, which is the facility that's in Arkansas. Neither one of these facilities are like in the same area as where Anna and the kids live, and it's not clear about what's going to happen in terms of the whether or not he'll be able to have any sort of communication with his kids while he's in there. Now, in the terms of what this means, 151 months is just over 12 and a half years. And in federal situations like this, you have to serve up to 85% of the sentence. That's assuming you get all of your time off for good behavior. And it's also assuming that no other things come up. So if you are charged with something else while you're in the if you pick up other charges, if you get into trouble while you're there, that can play a huge role in whether or not you actually serve the full sentence or not. And then that doesn't include any supervised release at all that would factor in after he gets out. TMZ also reports that Josh will face 20 years of supervised release upon his release, and it will be he'll have 20 years post-release supervision, and he'll also have to pay a fine of $50,100. kind of disappointing. They also stated that the judge noted his history of SA and that he appears to have an interest attraction of 2 minors. And he said that this was one of the most serious of cases that he's ever been a part of. And there is one particular file of his child that he literally said he cannot get out of his head, and he called it the sickest of the sick. In terms of how well the letters worked, he told Josh that he has done some really bad things in his life, and that while the letters were helpful and show that he is selfless, he said the true test of someone's character is actually what they do when no one's watching. And that's pretty much who Josh is what he's doing when no one's watching. The judge also said that Josh's lack of responsibility was not great, but that he was young and that he will be young when he's released, and that he has a large family and 7 kids who are dependent on him, and he has a large extended family that will be there for him. But he said he had to consider public safety as an interest when factoring in the time away. And he said that the statements by the mother of the young girl that was in some of the images, he called her statement chilling. And he said that what happened to that girl, that pain will never go away. So the prosecutors fought really, really hard to get the highest sentence, and it likely just did not work out for them. Dustin Roberts apparently said that Josh has a high likelihood that he'll do this again, that he will likely not receive or participate in any treatment while he is away. They argued that he obviously wasn't thinking about his family while he was doing this situation. So apparently he said that Josh Duggar is a wealthy person, has a large wealthy family, and he says, were you thinking of your family when you did this? Asking if Duggar thought of this or how it would impact his family, because all of the letters that he sent in were about how benevolent he is and how much money he has and how much he's helping other people. Dustin Roberts also said that he's never ever received any sort of medical treatment for any of the issues that he's had, like leading up to today, and he's taken no accountability. One of the things that they thought about in court today was that the defense literally argued that even though the kids that were in these videos have been hurt, they said Josh didn't do anything to them because he maintained his innocence. So Josh refused, even at sentencing, to accept responsibility, refused to acknowledge that he did anything to anyone, period. And the judge said 12 and a half years. This is actually 2 years more than what the plea deal was. Certain things worked in his favor when it comes to this. He got the reduction for the distribution. He got the reduction for the number of images. Now, Justin Gelfand, during his arguments to the court, basically said that the people that know Josh best know his character and know what a great human being he is. In fact, he referenced that Anna Duggar was sitting in the front row, and she was the person who knows him best, who knows him better than anyone else, who knows who he truly is, and she's standing there in support of him. And it's actually utterly disgusting that this whole process worked of him. I'm so benevolent. You know, this whole plan of them giving money to people and helping people out, it's all worked in his favor. Now, if he actually gets help, which I doubt he will, he might go through the motions like he's done in the past. What's the probability that something will happen again? Based on the timeline and the total number of months, I did a calculation here, and that if he serves 85% of his time, it's 10 years. 10 years he will be. That's it. So his youngest child, who's Madison, will be 10 years old. That's kind of concerning. Now, I don't know when he is finally released, what those requirements will be, because literally we're not even there yet. The hard part for me throughout this entire process has been that we have no video, no audio, nothing to have like any sort of understanding like what the overall like mood was. Josh was literally smiling and in good spirits, and I still worry that even this sentence won't be enough. You know, I feel like the U.S. attorneys did the best they could with what they had. This is his first technical offense. And so The only thing that I can think of as a silver lining is that one of the counts was dismissed with prejudice, meaning they could be recharged again in the future if necessary. I don't know how that would work, but that could potentially add more time on to this case, to his sentence, if he goes through like another trial. And the other silver lining here is that now that he has this on his record, he will be on the registry for the rest of his life, and the likelihood that he does do something or could do something again means that if he were to be convicted a second time, he's going to go away for a lot longer. I wish there was better system set up in place. It was a pipe dream for all of us to assume he would get 20 years. Obviously, we know what the recommended standard is, and it's always between 10 to 15 years. And I'm just disappointed, but I guess I can't say I am surprised. Either way, it's more time than I think he wanted, and so he's not getting everything that he wants. And it's enough time away for Anna to potentially wake up and think about where she's going in her life. It's also a final nail in the coffin for the Duggar brand, because finally, in court, the judge finally said, you are not considered innocent anymore. You are considered guilty. Even if you declare your innocence, there's no evidence supporting that you're innocent. You did hurt people. You continue to hurt people. And that's it. So he can yell and scream to all of his supporters that he didn't do this, but the facts are the facts. The case is the case. He did this. He was convicted. He will serve his time. For a small moment in time, we will be safe, kids will be safe, and hopefully Anna wakes up. I will continue to keep you updated with more as we progress. Bye, guys.